Changing to a career or a job that is truly in alignment with who you are at your core requires you to actually make decisions in a different way. Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Horvath. Thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, I'm going to discuss how you actually make decisions when you are making decisions that are in alignment with you. Because here's the thing, a lot of people will come to me, they've tried to make a career change, they've learned some things about themselves, and they think they were off to a great start. And then, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, they find out they're in exact same spot that they were when they originally started. And they find themselves in this bit of a loop. And there's a couple of reasons why this can happen. In this video, I'm going to share the decision-making process and how to make sure that doesn't happen to you if you are somebody who's wanting to make a career change. Before I get into that, though, I'm going to share that I have created a guide on how to create a career and job that you actually really love. Something that's really, really, truly in alignment with you, that feels good, that energizes you, and it feels like it's why you came here. So to dive into today's topic. Now, when we're making a career change, there are two big elements that have to happen, really, and they're both important. If you're missing one or some of the pieces within both those elements, it tends to fall flat. And this is, again, when we find people who are thinking they're making a change, and they are kind of making a change, but they don't really hit it. They kind of miss it, and then they get exhausted and burned out, frustrated. They start to lose their confidence. They're like, what's the point? I've made changes and I'm not getting there. And it really is because part of the process wasn't locked into place. Now, I talk a lot about determining things about yourself and really uncovering parts of yourself that you really need to know about, things like your core values, your success needs. It's really what I call your fulfillment blueprint. If you're missing any parts of that, it's really tough to find something that's really truly in alignment with you. I talk a lot about this in my content on LinkedIn, and if you're not there, I actually share content there Monday to Friday every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, as well as sometimes on the weekend. So I encourage you to follow me there and connect with me, or DM with me there as well. I'm happy to chat with you. But those pieces are really important. Learning those pieces about yourself is critically important. But this is really one of the spots now where people can go off rails, because we've been taught in our society to make decisions a certain way. And you might think to yourself, like, what is she talking about? Yeah, like we all just make decisions, right? But there is a certain way we've been taught. And if you actually look back on your history, you will see patterns, and you will see times when you made decisions a certain way that imprinted in you, and it's become a pattern, it's become a habit. A lot of that is created when we are really young. If you look at the school system right now, it teaches us to really persevere. It teaches us to keep plugging through even when we don't like something. We could hate it, we could despise it, we could make our skin crawl and our stomach upset, but we're really taught to push through it. And, there are times in life when we do have to kind of grin and bear it and do some things that we might not want to do. But this becomes a habit, in which case we don't ever check in with ourselves to see if what we're doing is in alignment. And so what happens with people is they learn all these things about themselves, and then they go out into the world and they try to apply the same principles of just moving forward without checking in with themselves ever. And so, a year down the road, they've been diligently moving forward, taking action, doing all this stuff, and they think it's getting them somewhere. And then they get down the road and they're like, this just doesn't feel good. And it's because they didn't do that check-in. You see, in many ways, we've been taught to have a plan, have your 10-year plan. What's your 5-year plan? And you go to a job interview, they want to know your 5-year plan. What's your 10-year plan? And so we're supposed to have this all figured out. We're supposed to have this nice set of, steps that we're supposed to take. And Yes, we want to have steps in life, but to have that much predetermined, pre-figured out means we're not actually stopping to check in with ourselves. And if you look around, that is truly how most people live their lives. But if you also look around, you'll discover that's, one of the main reasons why most people are happy. I mean, we are seeing a level of depression and stress, exhaustion on this planet at an all-time high. And that is because people are so out of alignment with themselves. They've been creating this life. And if you're watching this video, you've created a career just doing these things that we're supposed to do, never checking in with ourselves, never going, does this feel good? And it's almost like emotions have been taboo. Like we don't want to be emotional. And no, we don't want to have our emotions run amok. But our emotions are indicators. They are simply signs. They're telling us something. They're telling us whether we are in alignment or if we're not. I mean, there's a lot more things they're telling us, but that is one of them for sure. So to figure out, the pieces of yourself that are important, like I talked about earlier in this video, but then you have to always stay tapped into those things. You always have to keep them at the forefront. You don't learn them and then go, okay, so I know that and I can move on now. It's like those are your guideposts. And so you're making decisions from this place. And so this is where it can start to feel a little bit different, because not everybody will see your vision, because you're not going by societal rules anymore. You're going by your own internal compass. And so it might not make sense to everybody around you. Like, why are you doing that? But they're not you. They're not operating in the same system that you are operating in. And so when we start to live in alignment and you start to create a career that is in alignment, it takes learning this new process, and it takes some time. I started this many years ago in my life, and I've been slowly applying it to every piece of my life. And it's like this, it's almost like this, this big circle. So we've been living this life out here that's just following the rules. And as we get to know ourselves more, we fine-tune our life. It gets better and better and better every year that goes by. Every decision that we take that is in alignment with us, we feel better. We feel more peaceful. We feel more in harmony. But it takes time. Like I said, I've been doing this for years. And what I know is that life just gets easier. The other really cool thing about this, and I get so excited about this because it really is exciting, is when you are in alignment and you are making those decisions from that understanding of who you are and checking in with yourself, you are so much more willing, able to do things outside your comfort zone. I've experienced this in my own life, and I have clients tell me this all the time. Like, they'll tell me, I can't, I'll get a message from them like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Something that and I have goosebumps right now as I said that, something that they never saw themselves doing ever. And they're like, I can't believe I did that, but it was so easy. Like, it just didn't feel like it was so hard. And I'm gonna give you an example right now. I used to hate the camera, like hate it, like hate it, despise it. My dad used to yell at me when I was a kid. Like, he used to be a photographer, and if I didn't smile in the picture, I was yelled at. So I was traumatized, like seriously traumatized by this. Not blaming my dad, it's all in the past now. But like, I had a lot of anxiety about getting on camera, and I decided if I wanted to create this career, I had to, work through that. And so I just started talking into the camera. I started taking pictures of myself. And I was amazed at how quickly I actually worked through that, because I knew what I wanted and it was so in alignment with me. And I get this feedback from clients all the time. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts, is you surprise yourself in the best way possible. The other really cool thing that happens when you do this is you stop searching for validation outside yourself. And again, this is something I hear from clients all the time, and I know from my personal experience. You know, when you're making a career shift, I think one of the things that people worry about, and this is, something I get feedback from people when they first start working with me, is they're kind of worried what people are going to think of them. But once they connect with themselves and start making decisions and start realizing how good it feels to make decisions from that place of alignment, it's like, it's great if somebody supports you in this. It's nice. Let's face it, we love it when people support us. But there's not this dependence on it. It's not like, oh my gosh, I need people's approval. We need approval when we're out of alignment. But full stop. We need approval when we are out of alignment, when we are truly connected to who we really are and who you are at your core. You don't require that level. And like I said, support is beautiful. That's different. Validation, completely different. And when you're in alignment, you don't require that sort of approval from others in your life, because you know deep in your heart, deep in your soul that this is the right thing for you. And why? Because it feels good, and not in a selfish way, not in a, scarcity mindset way, but you're like, this is who I am. It's like this coming home to yourself. And that is such a different way of living your life. This is what we need in this world. This is how people are going to start to feel better, feel happier. And from this place, we automatically want to give more, because our cup is getting full. It gets fuller and really just more expansive each and every day. I don't know if fuller is a word. Anyways, I'm okay with being grammatically incorrect because I'm hoping you're getting this message. Anyways, if you are looking for any support on this, this is something I work through with people in my Pathway to Purpose program. Again, I'm going to put all my connection links down below in the description. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is this something you have tried, explored in your lifetime? How has it gone? How do you feel about that? And if this video is valuable, please share, please like, subscribe. It helps me get my message out there. I do believe this is a piece of the puzzle that people, I believe, really are needing in this world right now to really make it a better place. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me as well. I really appreciate that. And I will talk to you soon.